Welcome to Salman, a manga about a guy who rubs one out into a river, resulting in a half-human, half-salmon son who fixes his whole life by shitting out his dead abusive stepdad. Please don't run away. I promise it's not a fetish story. At least, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure the author is just a goofy guy with a severely melted brain. I hope. This insane story revolves around Shion Mastaba, who frequently holds special contests at school with his friends to find out who can shoot one the farthest. I'm not joking, by the way, that is literally the event they open the manga on. This is page 3. His whole life is turned upside down when his mom announces that she's suddenly remarrying, forcing him to move out to the boonies and leave his supportive friend group behind. Instead, he's enrolled into a school of bullies who do nothing but make fun of his name. If you missed the joke there, by the way, just remember it goes last name, first name. His name, as written on his school name tag, is Mastaba Shion. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably bully him too at that age. I mean, come on. Mastaba Shion. Say it quickly, Mastaba Shion. His name is literally masturbation. After his anger and frustration with his new school situation comes to a head, he runs out to the riverside in a burst of sadness, rips off his embarrassing name tag, tosses it away, and rubs one out into the river. Like everyone does after getting bullied, you know? Normal stuff. 3 years go by and Shion's life only gets worse. He's getting violently bullied every day, and he now has 3 younger siblings who have taken all of his mom's attention, not to mention his shitty new stepdad despises him. Feeling like an afterthought to his family and like his life has totally hit rock bottom, he runs away from home in the middle of the night and ends up back at that river bed. While he's in the middle of screaming and crying in frustration, he comes face to face with a horrific-looking monster telling him to stop all that ruckus. And he's understandably completely terrified. I mean, look at this thing. He tries to escape, but he cannot get away from the creature relentlessly begging him for help. He says he's trying to locate his father, who 3 years ago left something behind to identify him with. A name tag reading, you guessed it, Mastaba Shion. Understandably unwilling to accept the crazy idea that he was somehow this freaky monster thing's father, he tries to deny it and skedaddle on out of there as he suddenly remembers his, intimate moment from the river 3 years prior. Oops. In his haste to get away, he collides with none other than Ginji, the main bully from his school who has been beating the crap out of him for years. Before he can get the absolute shit kicked out of him, though, our brave, resilient Salman comes rushing out to save his beloved father. After all, he was raised to know that it is a son's duty to protect his papa. Some back and forth on why this freaky monster is calling Shion his father ensues, and we find out that after traveling around and surviving fishing massacres, his true purpose to keep him going was the dream of finally finding Daddy Dearest and asking him a super important question. Why was a scary monster like him ever born? And also, Ginji desperately needs to know why he fucked a salmon, which, valid question, honestly. Also, just a side note, isn't this art incredible? Like, not just good for a shitpost art, this is insanely detailed artwork on every single page. Anyway, stick with me here, this is only chapter 3. It gets so much wackier from here, if you can believe it. Anyway, Ginji has the classic "my dad abandoned me, so I'm a mean, violent bully" trauma, so he says fuck it, I'll take the freaky kid home with me, I ain't abandoning him, and him and Salman share a smoke before heading out on his paper route. Shion ends up tagging along too, and upon revealing that he ran away from his house, Ginji has some funky-wonky change of heart and invites them both to crash at his place. They smoke a lot and watch some questionable media, and despite being enemies for years, they end up having an amazing time skipping school and being bros. That is, until they're watching a special DVD, and Salman, well, he, at least he says sorry, you know? I mean, come on, what's a little bouquet between father and Sam and son, eh? Anyway, they bro it up all day, drinking beer and playing guitar, when suddenly, Ginji's grandpa comes home and hears all the ruckus. Furious, he starts beating the shit out of Ginji and is about to wail on Shion as well before our brave Salman intervenes and becomes best friends with Grandpa as well? Power of friendship truly always wins. Anyway, it only gets weirder from here. If you thought fish bouquet was where this stopped, you are sorely mistaken. Grandpa believes Salman is some messenger from God or something. I don't know, regular old man stuff. And while doing outdoor work with Grandpa, Salman decides to treat the pond like an all-you-can-eat buffet. He gobbles up all the fish whole, only to, well, violently shit them out. Still whole. I mean, violently. I don't think I can show the hilarious graphic detail here, but just know that he's got a tummy ache and he is aggressively bleeding out his butthole, which they use duct tape to stop the bleeding for. Well, things are now weird and confusing, but we must fight on, for this is only a 2-volume series, and I am in way too deep to quit now. So this is the part where things get kinda wishy-washy because the fan translation ends in the middle of volume 2. But I cannot stop here. I refuse. I need to know where this weird story is going. I have endured way too much to give up here, so I bought volume 2 on Amazon Japan, and it is time for machine translation. I'm sorry, but it must be done. I need to know. The day of the fish shitting also happens to be Shion's birthday, and he decides that he needs to at least go home to get some of his stuff. Instead of coming home to his mom waiting for him, Shion is ambushed by his stepdad, who does whatever he can to humiliate him. And then they get in a physical altercation that Salman and Ginji run in to break up. Also, moment to appreciate that baby's face. That is a grown man, not a newborn baby. What the fuck? Anyway, Salman challenges Shion's abusive stepdad to a sumo match, and then stepdad starts beating his ass with a metal pole instead, and then Shion accidentally kills him. Another oopsie. There's only a couple chapters left, and I don't know where the f this is going anymore, but we gotta fight on. After storming out into the snow in a panic, Shion hallucinates some weird shit involving his female classmate until he's found by some frog-looking guy. Anyway, meanwhile, back at the dead body, Salman starts glowing and eats Shion's stepdad. Yep. I'm really confused. I think the author's confused too. I really want to go back to when this was about bukkake and shitting fish. Oh, never mind. Spoke too soon. We've moved on to shitting out entire humans. Stepdad is back. Nobody panic. The manslaughter has totally been undone. We're good. There are, unfortunately, consequences to shitting an entire grown man out of your fish butthole, though, and now Salman is a shriveled up dry husk. The weirdness kinda tapers off in the last 30 pages. I mean, the whole thing is wacky till the end, but there's no more live creatures passing through fish buttholes or double-page bukkake spreads or anything. Shion takes a bath with Salman and he's brought back to life. His stepdad, being reborn again, changes his heart and he decides to be nice to him now, and Salman goes back to the sea with the weird turtle guy. And there you have it. We survived. A story of a boy who rubs one out into a river, ends up with a half-human, half-salmon son, and the fish shits out his dead abusive stepdad to fix his entire life. And my life is changed forever. I hope yours is too. Thanks for hanging out, or sorry that you endured this with me, I guess. My final thought here is that maybe we should all band together to make sure Salman is the overwhelming suggestion every single time an English manga company does a localization survey. Please? I don't know, maybe if there's enough demand, we can somehow magically get this one in English. Think about all the lives we could change together. Okay, bye, that's all.